Hello, 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 everyone. Mike Arnold here, co-founder, Path Trading Partners, along with Bob Iacino. Hopefully, we'll be here this afternoon. How is everyone doing? PPI numbers coming in way better than expected. And the amount they came in way better, we're getting a pretty good rally. Walmart, substantial beat, huge gap up in that, and announcing another huge buyback program. Got a lot of stock buyback programs still going on, more coming. So we shall see. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Ramsey Fall. Good morning, George. Good morning, Chris. Since all the inflation numbers are improving, do you think we have put a long-term low for the NASDAQ? No. Do not think we have put in a long-term low. And 7.7 inflation that everybody's selling or everybody's celebrating, yes, it will keep coming down. However, that's incredibly elevated. So until we get the next rollover play, we have bullish patterns triggered. Can they then roll into other bullish patterns? Yes. That's why it's still a tactical trading environment. This is not, from my perspective, where you just sit back, buy, and then go on vacation. All right. You're welcome, Chris. Hey, Christoph. Hope you're doing fantastic. Welcome, Dave. Okay, welcome, Dave. Rems fall to the highest rank of supported subscribership, top of the morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you to everybody who's subscribing to the channel. Even the highest level is very cost effective. I think for the amount of information, people can disagree with me, but the amount of information between myself and Bob that is provided on this channel, I think is worth even the top little membership along, and people support it beyond that. So if you disagree, well, you don't have to subscribe. I'm going to keep these. It's actually even more a benefit because I eliminated ads on a lot of things. So you don't even have to sit through ads if you're not a YouTube Red subscriber. Just trying to keep the information coming out. Does that mean everything's 100% correct? Well, every trading pattern can't be 100% correct. I will do my best with giving you the probabilities and everything else we do here. Now, the other information we try to relay is as factual as I know. We have no agenda for pumping a position. Period. We want people to analyze both sides of the market, learn how to trade probabilities, manage your risk, and be a responsible trader investor, which is our goal here. So if you are new, please do consider subscribing, ringing that bell, and hitting the like button. And when I say subscribe, just subscribe to the channel. You don't even have to pay for anything. Good morning, Legion Reaver. Good morning, Connor. Morning, Anissa. Coco thinks the all-time high is coming. We could eke out a new high in the Dow. It's going to take a lot to get there on the other markets. Bid-ask TPO charts show a gap from 417 to 4026 in the SES. Be careful out there. There could be gap fills. Remember, we'll continue the monthly super chats as well. Mike is incredibly generous. Well, thank you. And I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate everybody who's still patron or buy me a coffee. Everything we do here, it helps support the channel. This channel is not a huge money maker because it's not designed to be. There'll be some other things I roll out in the future to help people even more. Good morning, Options 22. Time for the S&P to retrace back to Jackson Hole. The S&P will keep going. Remember, we have the bullish bias. I think there'll be a rug pull before the end of the year, but we keep trading the patterns. PPI coming in 0.2. Revised was lower, coming in 0.2 better than forecast. Core PPI coming in flat, much better than forecast. Core PPI year over year coming in 6.7 versus 7.2. Empire State Manufacturing Index popped back to positive. PPI year over year still running at 8%. This will keep coming down just based off the base effect. We have Cook and Barr. Fed testimony and Speaky Speaks today. Market map is pretty much green across the board. Very hard to find some red. Very hard. I forgot to refresh that. We'll just see, but everything should be up. Last time I refreshed this, which I need to do again. Let's just go see. Every sector up. Technology up 300 basis points already. Our Fed Watch tool, I think it's going to be that 50%. Even if next reading of CPI and PCE come in a bit higher, I think we're really based off of Brainerd yesterday and reviewing it again. They're really forcing this 50% or telegraphing that it's going to be a 50 basis point hike. I can't say 50%. Greed's still in greed mode. I will not be surprised to see that get into super greed mode. This morning, Walmart, Home Depot. Home Depot was pretty flat. They did beat. Walmart was a big beat, and they said their EPS this year is not going to be as bad as they expected earlier. That's what I was focusing on. After the close will be Advanced Auto Parts, and there's not much else. And then tomorrow is Target and Lowe's. So where do we sit? Little spike up. Technically, the S&P has not fully played out the bullish pattern. Also, remember, not connected with the 200 simple. Still expecting that. Looks like today, unless we get some selling, we are still at cycle tops. Not a rollover yet, but I'm still expecting easily the reconnection with the 200 and potentially even running up to the mid-August high area. And George was talking about reconnecting with the Jackson Hole speech. So that would be right in that area. So, disagree. Greed is not good. Greed can blind you to trading the markets. Just as fear is not good, greed is not good. To get overly emotional is a blinding emotion where you stop analyzing the markets correctly. And you get blindsided by one side or the other. You trade the patterns, you trade the probabilities, and you don't let emotion get in the way to the best of your ability. So, where do we sit right today? There's no topping pattern. Coming back down, the 4 didn't confirm. The 4-hour didn't confirm the little double, and then we rallied off of it this morning with those PPI numbers sitting right at that 40, 34, 50 area. Key support now off the open back to 4,019, and then you have a lot of support in here. So I'll just be watching roughly about this 39.86 area. Already went to the upside, 40.59. And then the next key major level is the 40.82. Above that, if you're looking for the next longer term level, it's 41.21. All right. NASDAQ. Marching up, hit the harmonic and the 62.5 cluster area and backing off a bit. Still cycle tops daily and weekly. Still potential divergences. The little potential mini double top never triggered or confirmed. Never confirmed. Can't confirm, and you can't have a trigger without confirmation. And we blasted up there. There is not much of a pullback area. Keep in mind, until the prior harmonic, it stalled out at this 11,890 to 11,900. So that's the first level of pullback. Next is 11,750. There just isn't a lot besides that. So there's not much to talk about. The next key target up. If you want a minor target for the NASDAQ, 12,222. And then next major target would be 12,362, 12,368, 12,358, all this area. We'll just call it 12,360, 12,360 area. So watch today on a rally if it does close above the 62.5, which is 12,059. And then that would be for this little target with the 200 between the 87.5 and 100. Keep in mind, we are at cycle top, so anything at some point can start a rollover play, but can't get bearish just yet unless we break below some key levels, and that would only be short-term pullbacks. No double top anymore, no trigger or confirmation from last night, and as you see, it's clearly a triple top. Breakdown level 33,626, then back to 33,212. There's the clear path move in there. Longer term, just looking at the Dow longer term, this 33,212 with the rising daily rotation zone in this little support ledge now. That was resistance here from back on the 8th. Resistance from back at the end of August. That's the first major key support, and then 32,901. Major support is back at the 200 now. Resistance 34,118, then 34,783. So we'll do some fine tuning of that later. Russell, I'll get to the Qs and the spiders. Russell still 1917. Major support coming back at the 200, 1873. Spiders and the Qs. Spiders 401.50 roughly. 401 is key support, the back to the harmonic, and then we got about 399.65 are your key support levels. Below that, we don't have another major. Minor support would be 395.60, and then major would be about 394.37. To the upside, next key area is 403.78, and then 407.30. Why 403.78? Reconnection with the 87.5. Also keep in mind you still have a gap up here. I would be focusing more on that 200 though. Cycles at the top. There are your key levels for that. Remember, we also have OpX on Friday. Real quick, OpX on Friday. We are pretty gosh darn close right now to, we're actually in positive gamma territory, but right at neutral. And your big strike is 4K. 4K is your big strike. Back to the S&P real quick, then I'll jump to the Qs. 4K is now a very strong pin area. Potential. So do keep that in mind going through the rest of the week. We could trade around here and consolidate in this upper area within shooting distance of 4K. Not guaranteed, just something I'm keeping an eye on. Qs. 291.70 is first support. 291.70 to 290.97 is my first support zone. Looking to open up at 292.40 area. Next targets to the upside. 294.34, then 297.34. Key support beyond this 280, these first support levels, then we're at 288.70, 287.80, roughly, 287.90, and then back to 284.64. So be wary on any, it's holding up here, but the first thing I'd watch, I would not target the gap play unless we get some major selling pressure, which would come out of nowhere. I'd be targeting this key open from the key opening price of 288.83 on a pullback below 290.97. All right. Where do we sit? SMH gapped up right to the 200-day SMA. What do we need to watch for in the semis? This is getting a little over now. We have above the 62.5. There's still the probabilities of 237.05. I'd be watching for short-term consolidation and pullback. And also remember NVIDIA, which has earnings on Wednesday afternoon. All right, NVIDIA gapping close to the next harmonic level. But this is getting insanely overextended. Insanely overextended. So I'd watch for some potential retracing, not necessarily today in the SMH, but I would not, if you're not already long it, I would not be chasing it higher at this point. The DAX, again, a lot of things are getting to very, very overbought with cycles at the top. So DAX, key area I'm watching for a pullback is back to about just in front of 14K. The notes, we triggered the, by the way, the little double top was never triggered or confirmed. Running up to 113 next harmonic level. We should still see higher prices. I'm still focused on this 113.17 area key target up there. Pulling back a little after that PPI spike. You see here, this ran too far, I think, to become a double at this point. So it was just the flagging pattern, and up here watching, there's a fair amount of key support back in there. So any backfill, I'm just focused on back to, let me get the new harmonics, back to about 112.15. So still that bullish pattern in the notes. Dollar index rolling over, completing the double top pattern. So that is all done. To that key 104.88, 104.90 level right in front of the daily 200. We might be getting to a longer term pullback and a secondary reaction getting into the dollar, which is now what I'm watching for. The secondary reaction. We don't have a strong bottoming pattern just yet. We have a spiking bottom pattern. So I'm watching for a return to about 106.20 area. VIX, not much going on. Won't get, more so watching for going in the open unless we get some strong stuff, more of a consolidation pullback play. 24.35 is still key resistance. Can't get overly bullish unless we break below 23 based off these overextended conditions. Crude, not much going on here. Still in consolidation. Still watching for at least a pullback to 82.85. Gold, watching for a pullback also in gold. Key over, not necessarily today, but the key pullback level is now 17.50. Euro finished the double bottom pattern, done and dusted, and return to the 200 and back below it. So this is also getting overdone. Watching for a pullback before another potential push higher in the euro. Also reconnecting with the 200. Lots of 200 reconnections at this point. Hold on, pound. I should have said done and dusted for the pound, but it didn't done and dust the level. Anybody know where the saying done and dusted comes from? Interesting little saying there. 122.30, roughly the next major target. Looking for a pullback also in the pound. Bitcoin trying to stabilize down here. Nothing's invalidated that little mini double bottom just yet. Interesting stuff still in the crypto market. Tesla looking to gap. Remember, triggered this little, there we go. Very sloppy head and shoulders pattern. Holding up. Key support now coming in about 196.30. Below that, it'll be for the gap fill play. Above that, we still have, did this hit this 197.25, 197.08? Yeah, this is going to fill this gap with the gap. So pull back into the open. I'm watching the key support at this 196.50. Next target isn't until 202.64. If you need intermediate targets, if you're playing this from the bullish side, the intermediate targets are 198.86, pretty close to a breakdown zone there. 201.28 and 202.64. I'd be utilizing these as stop raises from my personal perspective. Good morning, Lauren. The market is ridiculously strong, Rich. Can we look at Netflix? Then I got to get going into the open. Netflix gap up today by the recent highs. If you want the next levels up, this is a fantastic area. If it continues to rally, remember you still have an unfilled gap. The next major level is the breakdown level 332. This is where I use reverse harmonics. 312.32 is definitely a stop raise target. 319.02 can be another partial profit or stop raise. So that's where it sits right now. Those are your upside levels. Your key support still at 300. Your minor support coming in about, you find a little minor support level. Your minor support I'd be utilizing right around 305.50 to 306. Good morning, Mama Mia. No, the PPI numbers were bullish. Let's see. Is there anything else? The US dollar's not dying. You're going to get now we're watching for the secondary reaction. This could be putting in a long-term US dollar top, though. It's not dying. I want to hear where Dun and Dusted comes from. Come on, people. You are welcome, Christoph. Let's just peek back in. Let's just peek back into the S&P, little shorter term. On a continued pullback, watch this prior breakout zone, which is roughly the 62.5, 40.18 going into the open. It's just backfilling the PPI. The PPI, rip your face off. PPI, single candle even on this. Is virtually a single candle clear path. So there's a huge void back in here. Avoid the noid, but the noid is a clear path, huh? Dream come true. I'm just wondering why the futures go up overnight, but the stocks are closed. Remember, the futures trade 23 hours a day, pretty much. They also gauge what's going on in Asia and Europe. So it's not just looking at the U.S. Also, when we were in major bullish mode back before the bear market hit, the stocks, one of the best strategies was buy the U.S. close and sell the U.S. open, or sometime right after the U.S. open, and then walk away for the day because of the European climb into based off Asian European markets and the general futures climb. And we may get that again. You're welcome, Anissa. What's happening with Bitcoin? Bitcoin's just trying to work through all the FTX stuff. There's a ton of wash trading going on. From my perspective, I wouldn't be touching any of this crap. If it triggered the bullish pattern, you know, we got that close below the 62.5, but coming down to 87.5, forming a double bottom or a potential double bottom. That would just be a rally play for the next rollover. It is a Ponzi, Connor. Looks like all the indices are bull flagging heading into the open. These are a little steep to be flag patterns. Little steep to be a flag pattern, but going to be watching the support to kick in going to the open. Now you have a pretty decent overhead resistance up here. So there's a lot now to chew through. So on any bounce back, I'm staying in potentially choppier mode today. All right, I got a run going into the open. Everyone have a fantastic day. Let's just take a quick look at the tick. Let's see where it opens. The tick, a very strong opening. Looks like lots of buys right off the open. So now I'm watching to see how it holds that 1,000 mark. So bullish undertones, 1,000. Then I am going back to about 600 for my next alert level for a potential waning of any upside momentum. I shall leave it at that. Everybody have a fantastic day. Talk to you later. Bye.